this is a really, really exciting way for you to prove your research in the real world on a timeline that would be really difficult to do otherwise, because not everybody has airplanes that they can dedicate towards testing profiles.
Considering the strategic importance of AI for national security, what unique opportunities does the DAF Stanford AI Studio offer that may attract talent seeking to make a meaningful impact beyond commercial applications? How do you address the value proposition for AI experts?
I think so maybe there's two audiences for this one. One is Air Force and Space Force, airmen and guardians who are out and, really want to be connected to getting into Stanford for a PhD is really, 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 really hard.
Oh yeah. My son is applying. It's hard.
But, I think us having a presence here helps reduce some of the risk that a professor would consider when taking on an Air Force student. So there's two hurdles to clear for an Air Force or Guardian. That's for the Air Force to approve for you to go study for a PhD, and then the even harder thing of getting an elite research institution to accept you for admittance. And so, but I think that having the studio here gives us personal relationships and connections to some of the PIs who are going to the principal investigators or professors. For the professor to say, this is a person who I think can successfully navigate this very, very challenging PhD program in 3 years, because that's what the Air Force requires, is a 3-year PhD, sometimes expendable up to like three and a half. But this, most people are doing in 5 years, we're asking our airmen to do in 3. And so by connecting to the studio as an airman now, before you apply, you have an opportunity to do some research and show some of your research chops and make some of the connections with the people who make decisions about admissions, or at least make recommendations for admissions. And so I think it definitely increases the probability of your acceptance, although that's about you and your ability and do you have what it takes. From a civilian side, if you're a PhD student at Stanford, or you're a professor at Stanford, and you want an opportunity to have your research fielded immediately on physical assets through our partnership with the Test Center, this is a really, really exciting way for you to prove your research in the real world on a timeline that would be really difficult to do otherwise, because not everybody has airplanes that they can dedicate towards testing profiles. So I found that a lot of professors, become excited at the prospect of being able to not only do applicable and useful research, but then validate it in the real world on a really accelerated timeline.